Hey, you guys. Hey. So, my name is Monique, and I had a hysterectomy on December 19th, 2025. Girl, girl. So, I wanted to record this because number one, I hope that this helps another woman who might be going through this, right? Because I'm going to tell you the struggle has been real. And I am going to try to update this every single week because it's been super helpful to just kind of like document where I've been and where I'm going. So, like I said, I had a hysterectomy on December the 19th of 2025. I am 46 years old. Now, girl, let me just tell you first and foremost that this decision did not come to me easily. Like, I didn't say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna get a hysterectomy, because for real, I wanted to go out with all my parts, if you know what I'm saying. So, the fact that I ended up here is something that I want all women to hear me loud and clear. You need to advocate for yourself. So I knew that I had fibroids and I knew that they were growing. And when I went to my doctor said, well, if they're not hurting, don't worry about it. No, 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 no. Okay. I also had an IUD, and the IUD strings were lost. And she kept telling me that 2 years in a row. And the second year, I said, you know, I really don't think this is right. And she said, again, are you having pain? And I said, no, I'm not. And so she said, okay, cool, don't worry about it. And I said, well, how long should I have this IUD in? Because it's been longer than 5 years. She said, oh, it can last now up to 7, 8 years. Don't even worry about it. Okay, skipped about my business. Fast forward, I went to a health fair because I am a body positive fitness health coach, right? And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, Monique, girl, like, how you didn't know? Girl, I didn't listen. I'm listening to what I thought was the expert, right? Went to a health fair, and this amazing doctor said, hey, I saw you asking a lot of questions about your fibroid, and just tell me a little bit about your story. So I told her about my story, and she said, oh, Lord, absolutely not. Oh, you need to come into my office right away. I went into her office. She did an ultrasound, and the look on her face was like she had seen something out of the abyss. And I was like, what? What's wrong? Like, what's wrong? And that's when she explained to me that I had multiple fibroids. She also explained that my largest fibroid was 22 inches long, and it was sitting on my pelvis, on my bladder. And she said, if you don't do something about it now, 10 years from now, it could be an issue. Now, she explained to me, like, I'm going to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you tell me you want to go and you want to try to, take the fibroids out, that's fine, whatever. She said, but Miss Coleman, I have to ask you, like, do you want more kids? And I think at that moment is the moment where, honestly, it got real, right? Like, it got real because I was like, do I want more kids? Like, is this what I want to do? Like, a whole bunch of things I was thinking, right? And I was like trying to just collect all my thoughts and stuff like that. And she sat with me, which is totally unheard of, in that doctor's office. We sat there for about a good 40 minutes, just sitting there. And she said, it is your decision. If you want to go home, pray about it, come back, I'm okay with it. And in my heart of hearts, I was like, no, let me go ahead and get a hysterectomy now, because my daughter's getting ready to go to college in a year, and I want to be able to live my life to the fullest, right? I want to be my most healthiest self, right? And if you've been following me, child, look over my videos. I lost 100 pounds through bariatric surgery. So, like, I'm trying to really live a healthy lifestyle. So I decided we're going to have the hysterectomy. Now, let me tell you something. What I will say is my number one thing where I went wrong is I did not plan. You heard me right. I did not plan. I didn't plan on things like making sure I had meal prep, making sure I had all the tools, the things that I needed, right? The hysterectomy pillow, which I have here, it's actually behind me right now, making sure I have the grabber, all the things. I'm gonna link a list below of like all the things that I use. And I just really don't think I was like set up properly. And that's my fault, right? Because I'll tell you, deep down inside, I was in a little bit of denial. Like I was in denial that this was even going to happen, right? So I just wasn't prepared. But in true Monique fashion, we heading for it. Took 2 weeks off work, and we're having hysterectomy. So the morning of my hysterectomy, when I tell you I felt all the feels, went in, thought everything was okay. You know, I had outpatient surgery, and I know for a lot of people they stay overnight. Well, your friend had outpatient surgery, and when I woke up, my doctor said it was a lot worse than we thought going in, and once we were inside of you, and she said I even had to call somebody in because it was so bad. And I was like, okay, because mind you, I'm groggy, I'm whatever. And she said, I'll record it and then your friend can show it to you later. Got home, um, days 1 through 3, I'll be honest, I was totally out of it. Day 4 and 5, once the anesthesia, once kind of like, all the things kind of started to like come off, is when I really started to like feel pain, right? And I felt like a hunched over person because you cannot use your core muscles, right? Now, mind you, I told you I teach fitness, right? So I'm all about the core, okay? All about the core. Monique's core, floppy, floppy core, right? And so now I'm like, I feel like I got to learn how to walk again. Like I could hardly get out of bed. It hurt to pee, all the things. I just, I was beside myself. But once I crossed over to day number 5, and if you look at my shorts, I have like some videos. Like one day I think I felt great because I was sweeping the floor and my daughter was like, "What are you doing?" And then the next day I felt like crap, right? So it's like your body is like, "You feel great, psych, sit down." And I will tell you the hardest thing about this journey is that like you have got to rest. And when you fight resting, that's when it becomes even harder. So, my number one advice, do not fight resting, right? Number 2, make sure you are prepared. And then number 3, take it easy and take it slow. So, going into week number 2, I kind of felt like the same. I kind of felt like I was just kind of in this like lull. But I started to feel a little bit like better, right? I was like, okay, maybe I can walk, because she did say like a week after 7 days, you can kind of start to get back to your routine a little bit. Mind you, I had a major organ taken out of my body, right? Um, I would say day number like 8 or 9, right before New Year's Eve, I don't know. I went to Walmart walking around, and I know what you're thinking. Like, girl, what was you thinking? Why would you walk around Walmart? Well, she said day number 7, like you can like walk, you can go out your house, right? And it wasn't even a long walk. It was kind of like a short walk, and I must have done something. But long story short, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I started to bleed out of nowhere, and I really wasn't, bleeding like that before. I wasn't spotting anything like that before, so I got nervous. So let me touch on that because this is super important. I saw fresh blood, right, in a clot. So I got nervous. I got scared. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to call. It's the middle of the night. I just was like all over the place. I finally ended up getting to my doctor at 5 o'clock in the morning. She called me back and she was like, okay. She said, I'm not really concerned. She said, you're going to spot, you're going to bleed. She said, but, you know, make sure for the next 48 hours you sit at home and you put your feet up. Put your feet up, put your feet up. And I said, okay. So I did that. And over the next 48 hours, I've continued to spot since then. She said, just take it easy. Again, same thing. Like I feel good, I feel bad, feel good, feel bad. And I'm still continuing to spot. And that was kind of like, oh man, like, am I doing something wrong? Did I rupture my cuff, right? Because I even had to go and look, to see like the cuff, right? The vaginal cuff that was put in there. And I was like, did I rupture that? Like all the things. And you can definitely look at all the people on TikTok, all the things, and see what they have to say. But it's like, sometimes you kind of gotta like, and this is just me, I'm a woman of prayer, right? Pray. And I'm just like, Lord, I believe that I'm getting healed, right? Like, it's hard because you're gonna see all the stories of like this happened and this happened and this happened. It's good to kind of know because even with the spotting, like a girl said, "Hey, yeah, I'm still spotting, but my doctor said it was okay," and she recorded the conversation with her doctor. But she did, and so when I then went in for my 2-week checkup with my doctor, while I'm not even gonna fake, I went in, child, I was crying going into the appointment. Okay, they do not tell you that this is an emotional experience. It's emotional, okay, very emotional. And I told her, like, yes, I am still spotting. While I'm feeling a little bit better, I'm still spotting. My core, I can feel, is getting stronger, right? Like getting in and out of the bed is easier, getting up and down off the toilet is easier, but I'm so concerned with the spotting. And you know what she told me? She said, the longer that in your mind you tell yourself that you are not getting better, you won't get better. So she said, you need to believe that you are getting better. So she did an exam inside. And you know what? It didn't hurt. And I thought it was going to hurt because I've been feeling pressure and pain and cramps. And she said, okay, let's set some realistic expectations. So, next piece of advice, when you go into your doctor's office for your 2-week checkup, make sure that you have a list of questions to ask them. Like, girl, I had a laundry list, okay? I mean, and she even laughed. She was like, girl. And I was like, girl. But you know what? She answered every single one of my questions in detail. And I told her the way I'm set up, me, she, and her, I need you to break it down to me plainly. I don't need the doctor over talk. I need you to say, no, Monique, you can't do this, but you can do this. You can do this, but you can't do that. Because that's the way that I understand it, right? And it's okay if you got to go to your doctor and be like that because at the end of the day, this is our health, right? We deserve to have good health. So, doctor said I'm looking great, I'm looking fine, and that's kind of where we are now. I'm day number 20, 2 weeks out, right? Almost at 3 weeks. I'll give another update at 3 weeks, but as of today, I'm still feeling pressure. I'm still feeling like a little bit of pain. So I'm trying to stay on top of my Tylenol. I'm not using the narcotics anymore, but like I do realize that I've got to stay on top of the Tylenol because it helps with inflammation. And my downstairs is inflamed, right? So just making sure that I do that, making sure you stay hydrated, making sure that you stay on top of your protein because people don't talk about that. Like, listen, our bodies need protein. So if you are on like a protein rich, diet going before the surgery, get back on that because it's going to make you feel better. Making sure you stay hydrated with water, all right? Not soda, all right? Not even carbonated water, but making sure you stay hydrated with water. Now, me personally, I cut out coffee, and that was just me. I just cut out coffee because I realized that I was a coffee addict, and I was like, girl, lay off the coffee for a minute, right? I was also taking Wegovy before I had surgery, and I stopped. Like I just said, I'm just gonna hold off for right now. One of the talking points that I did speak to my doctor about was going on HRT. So I did decide to go on HRT, and she was like, "You're gonna thank me because you probably need it and you don't realize that you need it." And I think that's again one of the other hardest things. Like, there's things that I feel like, nah, I just need to suck it up, buttercup. Like, because people are so used to being like, you're a woman, you're a black woman, suck it up. You need to be tough. Nah, man, can't be tough right now. Like, it's okay. It's okay to rest. Just because you rest does not mean that you're weak, right? Even when it comes to work. And so I had to tell my job, like, hey, look, you're not going to stress me out. Even after this surgery, even told my kid, you're not going to stress me out. One of the things that has helped with my stress is being in prayer. So I've gotten closer to God than I honestly feel like I've ever gotten before. And child, I've been through some things, okay? Been through some things, honey. And I just really feel like I need God more than ever in this situation, like every other thing. But like now I'm seeking his face, right? I'm seeking him and I want more of him. And it feels so good to like rest in him because I'm like anxious, right? And as it's been explained to me, like my pelvic area, it feels all of that. And I just can't be about that. So that's where I am right now, 2 weeks out. I did reach out to a pelvic floor therapist so that I can start to get my pelvic stuff going again. My doctor did say wear some compression, like wear my leggings, wear the binder. I personally don't like the binder, so I'm just going to wear my leggings. I will have to say, I wore my leggings yesterday. I kind of didn't like it. So today I'm back in my sweatpants. But if I go out, I'll probably wear my leggings. I'm still wearing a sports bra. That's why the girls is hanging on my kneecaps. It's fine. It's fine. And then I'm really just trying to get back to my regular routine, right? My regular routine is like walking a mile a day. So I'm really just trying to get myself back to my regular routine, whatever that looks like. And if I have to do a new routine, c'est la vie. It is what it is. So can't wait to talk to y'all again next week. Love you. Bye.